If you've been starving for football, just like I've been since about the middle of January, this week is going to be an absolute blast because we've got the NFL draft in just 4 days. I got some intel from Adam Schefter, the latest draft intel, if you will, that kind of points to the possibility of not only making one trade, the Ravens, but possibly making 2 when the NFL draft comes around. Let's talk about expendable contracts, veterans available. That's all coming up very shortly. But make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join us right here on the Ravens Rundown. I'm your host, Joey Peterson, giving you daily videos on your favorite team in the National Football League. We're doing a draft week sub battle, alrighty? We started it yesterday. We're going to go all the way until the NFL draft is over, kind of like we did free agency. And right now, we are in 3rd place, just behind the Bengals and the Steelers. However, it is close. Only 5 subs away from 1st place. I need at least 15 diehard Ravens fans to help me out. Hit that subscribe button and lock us in because it's going to be a very, very busy week. Alrighty, so Adam Schefter, in an ESPN Plus article, gave a very surprising trade candidate for the Baltimore Ravens to kind of monitor as we get closer and closer to the NFL draft and maybe even on the first day of the NFL draft. Odafe Oweh is the name he gave, and he basically said, you know what, Oweh's got an expendable contract because he's a guy who's going into the 5th year of his rookie deal. So why trade Oweh, you ask? Well, great question. He's on the final year of his rookie deal, like I just said. And so they obviously didn't believe he had that great enough of a season to extend him. And that goes to this last point. Baltimore picked up his 5th-year option, right? Where they could have said, you know what? Let's just get you on a contract extension. We need you here in Baltimore for as long as we can. No. Instead of doing that, they said, let's do a 5th-year option, give you 1 more year, okay? Also, he's coming off of a double-digit sack season in 2024, the first time he ever did that. And so that means at this current moment in his career, his value has never been higher. So because of that, mixed with the fact that he's on his final year of a rookie deal and mixed with the fact that Baltimore picked up his 5th-year option last year, instead of saying, you know what, this guy's good enough, let's just go extend him now, he could be on the market for Baltimore, looking to deal him, see if they can move up a couple spots in the NFL draft. But you tell me, before we talk about it any further, should the Ravens trade Odafe Oweh? If you think so, give me a Y for yes in the comment section. If you think they shouldn't, go ahead and give me that N for a no. And if you don't think so, let me know why in the comment section right now. So I don't think that they should. I like Odafe Oweh, and I don't love Odafe Oweh. I'm not like coming on here and saying, if they traded Odafe Oweh, I'm not, talking about this team ever again. I'm never watching again. That'll be the dumbest decision they made in franchise history. I don't feel necessarily that way about it, but you just got the best production out of him you've ever gotten in his career. 39 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 10 sacks, and a forced fumble to go on top of that. And also, on top of that all, he only started 10 games. Now, I know edge rushers are on somewhat of a rotation, so just because he's not starting doesn't mean he's not necessarily playing a starting number of snaps. But still, he had a phenomenal year in 2024. However, there is something to clean up. He did have a 3.17 time to pressure statistic, basically meaning took him 3.17 seconds on average to when he pressured a quarterback, which sounds like a tiny number. It's actually not. That's actually not very good at all. And that's been the biggest thing that I've been talking about and harping on through the entirety of this offseason, that this team next year needs to improve on their ability to consistently pressure the quarterback, because that's what killed them in the playoff game against Buffalo. Only 1 sack on Josh Allen, 0 QB hits, 6 quarterback pressures, and a quarterback pressure rate of 26.1%, which would have ranked almost dead last in the NFL if that would have been a season-wide average. So my take on this entire Odafe Oweh question and everything that Adam Schefter had to say is, I believe that it is a prove-it year for Oweh. And if he proves it, phenomenal. He's still young. Give him that contract extension. That will help you figure out that position for the long term. That could be the answer. But if he doesn't prove it, sure, you don't get necessarily the same trade value out of him that you would have this year. But also, it's like you gave him a chance. The one thing you would hate to have happen is a guy coming off the best year in his career at 10 sacks, you trade him, and then he is an absolute star for somebody else over the next couple of seasons. So this is a prove-it year. Make him do exactly that. And you know what? I will add on to that. If I get blown away with an offer, if Baltimore does get blown away with an offer for Odafe Oweh, I would listen, right? Just like I said off the top of the back. I'm not sitting here and saying, oh my gosh, if they trade him, I'm going to be devastated. That'd be the dumbest thing they could ever do in their entire lives. No. That's not my sentiment. My sentiment is I don't think they should trade him, but if they get a good offer and you get absolutely blown away, sure, I'm listening. So coming up, what about the veteran? Right? We talked about there's an expired contract that could be dealt. Adam Schefter also listed a veteran that could be dealt for the Baltimore Ravens. We'll dive deep into that in just a second. Before that, make sure you guys go and check out our brand new sponsor on today's show. That is our friends at House of Atlas. And you know what? There's so many things I love about House of Atlas. And after years of rocking facial hair, I was switched to the clean-shaven look. And I wanted to find a razor that matched my lifestyle. The existing brands out there really haven't innovated in years, and I was excited to see the new brand Atlas on the market. The razor comes from the creators of the brand Athena Club, a leading women's razor brand, which my wife loves, and they really know what they're doing. The blade head has 5 U.S.-made stainless steel blades that glide right through my facial hair. It has a high-performance serum strip that's infused with ingredients like aloe, vitamin E, and shea butter, which reduces irritation and helps prevent ingrowns. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? When I got married about a year ago, my wife looked at me and said, Joey, look, we got to have a talk. I don't like the scruff. And so I said, okay, sweetheart, as a good husband always should, I'll start shaving for you every single day. Now, I tried a ton of different brands, and I stopped trying when I found House of Atlas. This is their essential razor kit. It comes with one razor handle and 2 of the 5-blade refills. And let me tell you, it's the easiest thing I've ever used when it comes to shaving daily, all right? It is smooth, no nicks, no bumps, has me feeling great. And like I said, you get everything you could need with their kits. So go over right now to House of Atlas because for a limited time, they're offering 15% off your first order. When you purchase any razor kit and the before and after set, which includes the precision shave cream and calming aftershave. Use code CHAT at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code CHAT for 15% off your new razor kit and before and after set. Stop wasting money and time on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com today. Trust me, you'll love it just as much as I did. So let's dip back into Schefter's draft intel. He said a guy that could be traded is Odafe Oweh, and a veteran that could be available is Mark Andrews. Alrighty. Now, Mark Andrews made the list with some other pretty big names in the National Football League. Here was the entire list. It was Mark, Jalen Ramsey, who we know as of last week was put on the trade block by the Miami Dolphins, Jair Alexander, who we've talked about a ton on this channel, Kirk Cousins, Dallas Goedert, and Trey Hendrickson, which we've also talked about a ton as well. Now, this is a legit list of veterans, all right? You look at every guy on that list, and you see a bunch of people who have performed at very high levels across the National Football League, but also have been talked about a ton over the last month and a half or so as being legitimate trade targets. And remember what Adam Schefter said about 10 days ago about Mark Andrews? He said, I wonder if there's a team that is looking at Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland and doesn't get him and turns around and says, Baltimore will give you a 3rd-round pick for Mark Andrews. I would have thought if he was going to get traded, it would have happened by now. It hasn't happened, so I don't think it's likely. But that's the kind of situation on draft day that you have to wonder about. And Adam Schefter is not the only NFL insider that has spoken about this yet, okay? Because remember, we talked about it early last week, but Ian Rappaport actually spoke about the possibility of a Mark Andrews trade, and he thought it was a little bit higher of a chance than even Schefter did. He said, I may give that is very, very much up in the air. I wouldn't be surprised, based on what I'm hearing here, if some team does come in and make an offer that the Ravens can't refuse. Alrighty, so we're kind of hearing conflicting reports with the fact that Mark Andrews is listed on Adam Schefter's list of available free agents to look at in a draft day trade over the next couple of days. I think that means something. Okay, that means something to me. Right? Adam Schefter believes that Mark Andrews is a guy that could be dealt. And if he didn't believe that, he wouldn't have made the list. Alrighty? And so we have to take that as something that is serious. Give me a number down below in the comment section. What do you think the percent chance the Ravens trade Mark Andrews is? Scale it for me 1 to 100 in the comment section. 100%, you're like saying, okay, no doubt about it, done deal, it's going to happen. If you're like a 1, you're saying, probably not, we'll see, but like I would bet against it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So I'd be surprised if it happened, but I wouldn't be like blown away, right? It wouldn't be like one of those situations that I was like, oh my gosh, I did not see this coming. This is the most insane thing I've ever heard. But like at the same time, I'd be like, oh, wow, I didn't think they would. And the reason I wouldn't be blown away is because financially it kind of makes sense, alrighty? He's entering a contract year, set to make $11 million. His dead cap hit is $5.9 million. He has a $16.9 million cap hit. But the reason that I said I'd be surprised off the top is that $4 million roster bonus that was due on March 20th. I have a feeling if Baltimore was really intent on trading him, they would have done it before that. But still, at the same time, you cannot ignore the fact that if he is dealt, Baltimore saves $11 million in cap space if traded. So there's a bunch of different conflicting arguments, right? There's a side of you that says they already paid the $4 million of his roster bonus. If they would have done it before then. But we also don't know how desperate some team might be. If they wanted a tight end, one doesn't fall to them, they look and say, you know what? Let's give Baltimore what we weren't willing to give them before. Let's give them that third-round pick. And if that happens, I think Baltimore would deal them in a heartbeat. My take on this is part of me, like there's a legit part of me that wants to give Andrews one more run with Lamar for a Super Bowl, right? But if you can use him to get better defensively, I would do it. Okay, I would not even think twice about it, right? It is hard because he's done so many great things for this franchise. He's done so many great things for this team, and we all know how much as a target Lamar Jackson loves him. But like, he's disappeared in the playoffs time after time. So if you could use him, trade up, and grab a defensive player you think can make an absolute impact in year one, I would do it in a second. Here's 3 of those names: Mike Green, Jahdae Barron, Will Johnson. Those are 3 guys to look at that if any of them are available from like pick 16 through 22, somewhere in that range. If those guys are available, I would not think twice about trading Mark Andrews, moving up, and selecting one of those guys. Make sure you guys subscribe. Alrighty, we're going to be here all week long. The best Ravens coverage. It's going to be a super busy week. And we're also going to get you covered everything on the draft. A video for every single selection made, draft grades, all that great stuff you're going to be able to find right here on the Ravens Rundown.